Hey guys, I hope you can hear me now. I am going to read you the video posted earlier today on lesson number 5, which is writing a claim. Today, the only thing I want you to do is write a really good claim and gather gather videos and pictures to add to your final product. A claim is got to be one of the more tricky things I ask you guys to create. Often you are asked to support a claim I've come up with, but this time I want you guys to come up with the claim. A claim is something along the lines of what you created during National History Day, but it has to be arguable, so there has to be an opposing side, and it can't be factual, and it can't be obvious. For example, Thomas Jefferson was a president of the United States. That is a fact. That's something you can argue, but I could argue whether or not he was a good guy or a good president, etc. So I'll show you guys an example, and hopefully this will clear up anything that you need. So you're going to go to classwork, writing a claim, final submission. Your final product will be due after this, but the worksheet is going to be fully due today. Tomorrow's class I'll allow some people who ask for it makeup work, but not everybody will get that makeup time. Only students who have been dedicating themselves to this throughout the time and are just running into some problems. Okay, so with that being said, you're going to scroll down, obviously, and there should be a couple of things. I have a video that'll help you create a claim. There is volume on that one, I believe. We'll see a little bit of it today. And this video, I have a screenshot of my claim that I came up with. I want you to format it similarly with the colors and the underlining. I have the video that I'm going to repost, and an example of what is due. So I'm going to open up the example of what is due. Now, this is not a teacher's example. This is what I expect you guys to be doing at this point. College, or my example, if I were to do this project, would be much longer, obviously. So I have all of my notes here that I've gathered. I did the whole project with you guys. I have all my primary sources that I gathered and wrote about. And then finally at the end, I'm going to produce a claim. Now, a claim is produced when you see a pattern within your research, an arguable pattern. So an argument keeps coming up over and over again, or you're drawing conclusions with the evidence that you're finding over and over and over again. So for example, with Thomas Jefferson, this claim that I created talks about how he affected American society today. But I'm going to get to that in a second. So your claim also has to answer your main question. So your claim has to do two different things. Again, it has to be arguable, and it has to help answer, to some degree, your main question, and draw from all the patterns you see within your research. So some patterns I saw within my research is, while Thomas Jefferson was really great at giving us some awesome American ideas like equality for all, and popular sovereignty and limited government, which we all love in America today, he didn't really follow through with those things because of things like owning slaves. All men are created equal, and you can't say that by owning slaves. We talk about this in class. And having limited government, but then purchasing all of this land and taking it from the Native Americans. So with my claim, I'm taking a position. I'm going to say that, looking at my primary sources, I'm going to say that while Thomas Jefferson helped to establish some of our greatest American ideas, his actions proved him to be less noble. I underline that because that's my main thesis piece. And then I highlighted 3 reasons why I'm arguing he was less than noble. One reason was because of Jefferson's personal decisions, slavery continued and was justified for another 100 years. He stole the land of Native Americans and started the extermination of their population and culture. And he was so obsessed with American independence that he limited free trade with nations, something that is necessary in today's world, and hurt the American economy. Now, that's my original claim. Now I'm going to copy and paste this exact claim, and I'm going to place it here. Now, my original claim talks a lot about what he did in history. It doesn't really talk a lot about how Thomas Jefferson influenced society today. So I rewrote it. Now it looks a little longer, but I rewrote it to talk about today. So while Thomas Jefferson helped to establish some of our greatest American ideas and actions, his actions proved him to be less noble. Because of Jefferson's personal decisions, slavery continued and was justified for another 100 years, which ultimately affects the African American population today. He stole land of Native Americans and started the extermination of their population and culture, which is why Native Americans are the smallest ethnic group in the U.S. And he is so obsessed with American independence that he limited free trade with nations, something that is necessary in today's world, and hurt the American economy. So it's very long, and I could probably shorten it down even more when I keep looking it over it and keep wordsmithing it. But for today, I'm just going to give you guys this. It is very long. Yours can be shorter, but again, it needs to it needs to be arguable. Like a historian could outwardly argue with me. He could say, or she could say, no, Thomas Jefferson is the greatest president of all. He established all these great ideas for us, et cetera, and I could argue back with this evidence. My evidence that I'm listing doesn't give specifics. I'm not specifically saying, okay, he had 350, he had 600 slaves. I'm not going to say that he bought the Louisiana Territory, which caused the Trail of Tears later on. Like, I'm not going into specifics in this paragraph, but I'm generally talking about my argument in 3 separate pieces. So that is what your claim is going to be. That's the more challenging part. It doesn't look challenging, but it's going to be challenging. It should be challenging. It should take you the half hour or so that I'm allotting for this class. If you find that you've already created your claim, you shouldn't have. All of your research has to get done first before you create your claim, and I'll check it for you to be sure before you turn it in, because this assignment is out of 10 points. The final piece, which I think is more fun, is you're gathering YouTube videos and pictures for your thing link. A thing link will be explained at the next lesson, but a thing link is essentially a one-page website with all your notes on it in the form of an exhibit. So you're going to need to know what each of your items here are with a little caption. You don't have to write the caption today, but at least know what each of your pictures are in an accurate way and coming from reliable sources. These here that I've picked, some of them are news sources, which is fine when it comes to these YouTube's videos, like this one here. Let me mute it. This one here is pretty cool. It is Thomas Jefferson's descendants all came together, and it's a news source.
We can prove.
It's by CBS.
Take a look at these 2 guys. They don't look alike. That's Shannon Lunier and Lucian Trescott. They're related. Vladimir Dudier of our streaming network, CBS Sends.
So they're both Thomas Jefferson's, great grandkids or something along those lines. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I put that in there just to show off your research to the class. Something that necessarily doesn't help your argument, but might be just cool to show. And then pictures, because we want it to be pretty and have nice pictures and stuff. About 4 or 5 pictures. Anyway, okay. I wanted to show you guys one more thing, the video I am using for help. So if my explanation is kind of crummy, I'm not really used to doing this. I teach in front of students. Here is another video to help you. I give you these videos because I know I probably am not doing the best job. I'm learning here. But here is a video on how to make a good claim. It's very short. And it's just a video with a cartoon. So claim is a statement that can be argued and proven with evidence. So that's the biggest piece. A historical claim, he doesn't give examples of historical claims. He gives examples like should the schools be allowed to wear uniforms, etc. But with historical claims, that's where it gets tricky. Just think to yourself, is there another side? Is there another perspective to this? The civil rights, for example, the civil rights era was a time of great change for African Americans. Like that is, yeah, it created, that's not a claim, that's not arguable, but the civil rights era caused a better world for African Americans to live in. That might be more arguable. So think about if there's another perspective before you submit, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. After this video, I'll be starting a Google Meet for anybody who needs it, and I will be on the computer for a couple of hours before lunch and my meeting, and then after until 2. All right, guys, good luck. Bye.